Today we're going to be doing our Unit 2, Notes number 10, which is subtracting polynomials. So first, let's kind of review our vocab. So it says classify the given polynomials by degree. So whenever we say degree, we are meaning our largest exponent. This is where you have your constant, linear, quadratic, cubic, quartic. So on the first one, we have a variable x, so this exponent is 1. So our biggest exponent of 1 is linear. Next, our biggest exponent we see is 2. So this is going to be quadratic. Next one, we have no variable. So if there's no variable, this is called constant. Our next one, our biggest exponent is 4, so this would be quartic. And our last one, our biggest exponent is 3, so this would be cubic. So hopefully you guys are getting a good understanding. You guys will have a word bank, but they will not be in order, so keep that in mind. So the correct mathematical way to write a polynomial is in standard form. So this means biggest exponent to smallest exponent. Subtracting polynomials. So this is a little bit different than adding polynomials. So your first step is to distribute negative and then your second step is to combine like terms. So there's just one extra step added in for subtracting. Okay, so it says find the difference of the following polynomials. So our first step is we have this negative sign in the middle. So we're going to take it and we have to distribute it to both terms after. So the first set of parentheses stays the same. The second set, this becomes a negative 3x squared. And this will become a positive 5 because negative times a negative 5 will give you a positive 5. So it just changes the sign and everything in the parentheses after that negative. Then you combine like terms. So you have x squared and 3x squared, negative 3x squared. So that's going to give you negative 2x squared. And then you have a positive 3 and a positive 5, and that's going to give you a positive 8. So if you did not distribute that negative, you would get the wrong answer. Classification, our biggest exponent is 2. So this would be a quadratic. Okay, next one we're going to do the same thing. So we have this negative. We're going to distribute it to both terms after. So my first set of parentheses stays the same. Second one, we get negative 5x cubed. And then the negative x squared becomes a positive x squared. Then we combine our like terms. So we have 4x cubed and negative 5x cubed. It's going to give me negative x cubed. I have 3x squared and x squared. It's going to give me 4x squared because I add my coefficients. And then 2 doesn't have anything, so we just tack it on the end. Okay, my biggest exponent is 3, so this is going to be cubic. Okay, let me know if you guys have any questions on those first two. Let's move on to the bottom. So it says calculate the difference between 2x cubed minus 4x squared plus x and 7x squared minus 5x. Difference means we subtract. So whenever I say difference, this and sign just needs to be crossed out, and this will be changed to a negative. So this negative needs to be distributed to both things after it. So the front part will stay the same. This positive 7x squared will become a negative 7x squared, and this negative 5x will become a positive 5x. Then we combine our like terms. 2x cubed, there's nothing to combine with it, so I just bring it down. Negative 4x squared and negative 7x squared is going to give me negative 11x squared. And then x and 5x is going to give me 6x. My biggest exponent is 3, so this is going to be cubic. Okay, let me know if you guys, that's similar to what we were doing, so let me know if you have any questions on that one. Going to the back page. So this first one says the total perimeter of the triangle is 23x. Find the missing side. Okay, these need to have x's on them. That's my bad. So I need to first think about how you would find that missing side. We need to first combine our two sides. So 7x and 9x is going to give me 16x. So if I know the length of these two sides, but I need to find this third side, but I know the total, what would I do? You should tell me subtract. So you're going to take 23x minus 16x. It's going to give me 7x. So this side is going to equal 7x. Ignore the classification. So the next one says, given the perimeter of the triangle below is 10x squared plus 2x plus 10, find the missing side. So you're going to have the same steps every single time. So the first step is you want to combine your two sides. So add those two together. So you get 3x squared. There's nothing to combine, so we're just going to write it down. Negative 2x and 6x is going to give me a positive 4x. And then 12 and negative 2 is going to give me a positive 10. So this is the sum of the two sides. I then am going to take and subtract this from the perimeter. So I'm going to have 10x squared plus 2x plus 10 minus 3x squared plus 4x plus 10. So your first step is to distribute your negative. So the front stays the same. That becomes a negative 3x squared. This becomes a negative 4x. And this becomes a negative 10. Then combine like terms. So 10x squared minus 3x squared is going to give me 7x squared. 2x and negative 4x is going to give me negative 2x. And then a positive 10 and a negative 10 is just going to cancel out. So my answer for that missing side is 7x squared minus 2x. So the exponent on this one is 2. So this is going to be quadratic. So this one has a couple steps. So we're going to keep going over this problem. So make sure you get some good practice on it. So add your two sides together and then subtract that from the total perimeter. Do not take your sum and subtract it from the total perimeter. Okay. Simplify the following. So the first step is I have to distribute these negatives. So the first set of parentheses stays the same. This becomes a positive 12x. This becomes a negative 4x squared. This becomes, oh goodness, negative 9x cubed. This becomes a positive 7x. Then combine your like terms. So you want to start with your biggest exponent. So negative x cubed and negative 9x cubed. It's going to give me negative 10x cubed. 5x squared, negative 4x squared is going to give me x squared. And then 12x and 7x is going to give me 19x. Now, if you do not start with your biggest exponent, that is okay. Just make sure you're writing it in order from biggest exponent to smallest exponent, and your sign stays with it. So on this one, my biggest exponent is 3. So this is going to be cubic. Okay, moving down to the bottom. So we only have one negative, so that's the only one we need to distribute. So 9x plus 3x cubed stays the same. This becomes a negative 7x squared, and this becomes a negative 3x cubed. Negative 10x stays the same, and positive 5x squared stays the same. So again, I want to start with my biggest exponent. So I'm going to start with my cubes. So 3x cubed and negative 3x cubed, that's actually cancels. So we can just get rid of that one. Negative 7x squared and 5x squared is going to give me negative 2x squared. And then negative 10x and 9x is going to give me negative x, or negative 1x. So on this one, my biggest exponent is 2, so this is quadratic. Okay, let me know if you guys have any questions on the notes. And this is all. Tomorrow we're going to review adding and subtracting polynomials.